Hello, everybody. We're live. And whoever's in the staging area, we've had feedback from that intro. Please, you have to turn your audio down. What a show tonight, guys. What a show tonight. What a show. We'll wait for people to come in. Take their time. Got a little bit of delay. I hope everybody had a good Saturday so far. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Of course, I always got to thank my extra supporters every time I do a live show. I thank them so much. And that extra support for Judy, Barbara, Daniel, and Mike. Without you guys, this channel doesn't run. I thank you so much. I also want to thank my moderators, Tammy, Judy, Renee, Michelle, Daniel, and Starlene, who are on high alert tonight. I want to thank all my people from the Quest of Oak Island Facebook group, my YouTube channel, and on my radio podcast around the world. I thank you guys so much. So much. Hello, Cindy. And we're going to have a lot of guests. So a lot of people will be coming in and out. And for you guys, it's for you. So post your questions for either Erin, Carmen, Jeffrey, Corjan will be in, Chris, Donah, and the rest of the gang. So like I said, this group is for you guys. These guests were so great on coming on tonight for my 5th anniversary. And let's make the best of it. Let's make the best of it. My co-host for tonight is Erin Helton. She's a senior GIS programmer analyst, analyzed LiDAR data, aerial imagery, and historic survey maps to demonstrate to the Oak Island team how GIS could help them piece together the island's history and relocate original positions for features that have been lost to previous searchers. Erin has been on the show on season 8, episode number 6, episode number 8. Please welcome my co-host, Erin Helton.
Hi, John. Happy anniversary.
Thank you so much, Erin, for coming on live. I appreciate it 1,000%. I thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm really happy to be able to join you today.
Hello, Barbara, Starlene, Tim on the YouTube side, Mark, and everybody else on the Facebook side. They're starting to come in, Erin.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, put your questions down. Later on in the show, we'll get to some of the questions, because I think the last time you were on, we got to maybe 4 or 5 questions, and that was about it. So if these guys got questions, I thank you so much for putting the answer to the ones you can answer.
Absolutely. I'll do the best I can.
Let me see here. Some things about the group that I started in 2016. I started on Facebook Live. No streaming service, guys. Just Facebook Live. And that was in August the 21st of 2021. And Judy says, hello, Erin. Daniel Spino says, hello, Erin. And Jeffrey Irving, who will be on very shortly, was my first member. And also we used to get together on every Tuesday night so he would see the show in Canada before all this streaming service even started. I started with a HP laptop and a 22-inch TV monitor. I had a 22-inch TV, and that's how I started. I'm getting feedback. You getting feedback?
I don't hear anything. It sounds fine.
Joan McGinnis was my first guest on Facebook Live. That was 520, audio only. And so far, I've had 18 different guests. And we started Be Live on July 1st, 2020. Be Live, I have about over 180 podcasts. And I don't know how many on the Facebook Live. So we're over 200, way over 200 broadcasts. And I still can't get it right somehow.
You must be doing something right, John. You've got quite a few followers. So
hello, Jenny. And I always got to give the shout outs to the members, Erin, because without these guys and these members in this group, we're nothing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All right. Jeffrey Irving. He met with the team during season 3, episode 9, called Columbus Day, suggesting that the Oak Island treasure may in fact be the Ark of the Covenant, the Old Testament artifact that supposedly contains the stone tablets in which the Bible's 10 commandments were written. Jeffrey believes Columbus was connected to the Templars who ordered the Ark smuggled out of Jerusalem, and that the explorer may have somehow been involved in their efforts to spirit away to the New World. Everybody, I want you to welcome my friend and fellowship member of Oak Island, Jeffrey Irving.
Hey, John. Hey, Erin. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hello,
hi, Jeff.
Jeffrey.
Great to see you guys. John, happy 5th. That's 5.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, I'm still producing a great show.
It's pretty tough in the summertime. I'm really going crazy over here, but I would say, like, if I can get like one of you guys per week through the summer, no, Johnny gets them all in one night. So I don't have to come back on until November. What do you think?
Well,
I think your fans would miss you.
Yeah. Yep. The PMs would be going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
yes, I agree.
But
You've
Jeffrey,
got a great following, and you produce a great show. So and it's fun, and that's what the island's all about. It's always been about fun.
And you've built a really positive community as well of people that are not only just share an interest, but are very encouraging of each other and of different ideas. And that's really important too.
Yep. I'm very strict. I mean, that's how I started it, and that's how it's going to be on going forward. So they know if they join my group, it's very well behaved. It's very well positive, and that's what I want to protrude to the people through me if I can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show Jeffrey this. Jeffrey, this is my old studio.
Right. Cool. Hey, listen, I've always been in my living room, right? When I used to do the old Facebook Live shows, I mean, of course, I had a different setup before. I mean, the last place was, well, everybody just thought it was a museum because I never dusted. So everything just was old, but looked old because it had dust all over it.
Guilty.
But, my daughter, is now 17, and she said, when we get the new place, you're not putting all your junk all over it. So this is it. I was allowed this corner right here, and that's it.
Remember before, Jeffrey, we sort of pointed our laptops to each other to do sort of a interview on Facebook Live, because Jeffrey used to call me on his Apple phone or whatever he was doing on Tuesday nights.
Cell phone, yeah.
The cell phone. And then we didn't have any tripods, camcorders all over the place. I don't know. I just enjoyed it. It's just the grown-up process of what you got to go through as far as being a podcaster. I mean, I'm just a fan of the show. But Jeffrey, it's unbelievable where we came.
It is. I mean, the trials along the way. And I mean, you know, and you and I always talked about it because you always wondered why I didn't go your route. And you know how much time and effort it takes. You know, I used to do a little 40-minute segment every Tuesday night before the live show, but it would take me 2 days. I had to dedicate 2 days, do the graphics, get the little rehearsal, and it is all live. You know, the cat starts puking in the middle of the living room. You gotta deal with it, right?
Yep.
You know? And you make a mistake, and I'll go back and I'll listen to it the next day or something. It's like, I didn't pronounce that guy's name right whatsoever, but you know, nobody cares because it's all fun, right?
Hey.
I mean, everybody's just talking about Oak Island. How can it not be fun? I mean, you know, there's the scientific community that, you know, wants to take it ultra serious, but you know, Oak Island, the mystery is fun. Respect the mystery.
Yep. And Jeffrey, it took me 6 weeks to put in my subscribe button on a video. That's how tech savvy I am. Yeah. I hear you.
Hopefully it's gotten a little easier over the years.
Well, you know, and when we think about, you know, and we were talking about this in the pre-show, you know, and Erin, you were talking about it, how much work it goes in, and you know what you do to come on here. I know what I did for my little deal, but you know, when we go on the show, like my first appearance was, you know, 4.5 hours and 7 minutes and 45 seconds made television, right? And it's like, you know, so to make the big show, the real deal, I can't even imagine how much footage, you know, Prometheus must just reel through. And, you know, we don't have time for this. We don't have time for this, you know, and, it's quite a process. There's a show being filmed here locally right now, and it's a big deal to put on a TV show.
All right, let's bring in another familiar face that people see on the weekly. His name is Carmen Legge. Let's see if you guys recognize this guy. Here we go. Welcome, Carmen Legge.
Hi, John. Happy anniversary. Been 5 years already.
5 years on the quest.
Hi, Erin. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hi,
Hey,
Carmen. Wonderful to meet you.
Yeah, same here. 5 years. Wow.
5 years on the quest. I asked Carmen, I mean, he does the artifacts that all the archaeologists, how many they got on there? 15 archaeologists now, but they still got to bring things to Carmen. You know what I mean?
No, at least the metal items anyway.
Right. And he gives me these things like I'd say, Carmen, well, how many guys to dig this tunnel? How many people? How many hours? I love that input that people don't know. Like I would ask him, well, the paved road area, you know, the cribbing underneath was dated such and such. But how long and how much manpower does it take to build one of these things? And Carmen comes up with a solution of man hours. Now, who does that? You know what I mean?
I try to, in my research, when I look at a metal item, I try to see the human part of it. So I research how much work it went in to make it, how much work it was how much was involved to use it. And from the wear and tear of it, I can put sort of some eyes, how long it was used, how much blood, sweat, and tears was lost.
I hear you. And even, how did you figure out, like when I asked you about the tunnels at the Behringer survey, how did you know how many people it would take and how long it would take to dig something like that out? How did you come up with them sort of surmised figures?
There was a study done in, I think, a Scandinavian tunneling cave system and they had pretty well detailed records, and it was based on that. Now, I don't know if Scandinavian soil is similar to ours, but I suspect it is.
I hear you. Now, Jeffrey, go back to Jeffrey here.
Yep.
So tell the viewers what you actually been up to that remember you. I mean, I keep your memory alive on my group at all times, so they know who you are. But a lot of new members that come in say, who's this guy in the purple shirt? And who's this guy that's next to Rick? Because they just forget. They know season 8, season 7, but us members, our hardcore members, know who you are.
Well, and it's like anything. It's everything is in the moment. So, 3 years ago. No, what? 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. That's all old news now.
Right.
But what's fun is nothing's been proven out. Right. Every theory is still alive.
Yep.
Every theory has not been proven. Every theory has not been disproven. So really, it doesn't matter how old, Peter Amundsen, for example. I mean, how many theories are out there? And I'm in good theories. And just to give you kudos, Erin, one thing I loved about your theory is that it's original.
Yep.
It's yours. You own it. There's a lot of theories. Whenever you're talking historical items, it's really hard to come up with original material.
Especially when you're talking about ancient artifacts, too, because they've been around for people to hypothesize about for a really long time.
Yeah, and history is about, Marty's always about the data. I want to see the data, right? And it's like, it's hard to come up with new data. One of the things that never made the show is how I came up with Columbus in the first place, as a potential. And it was because of this book right here. Washington Irving's History of Columbus that he wrote. Washington Irving went to Spain, studied him for 4 years, and when he was studying, he came up with something. And I'm just going to read this real quick. I'm going to get my glasses here. Because this was, to me, it was quite important. And this was during the trial of Columbus. And Martin Alonso's kid Arius was testifying at the trial. And he said that his father, being once in Rome with his father on commercial affairs, before the time of the discovery, they had frequent conversations with a person learned in cosmography who was in the service of Pope Innocent VIII. And that being in the library of the Pope, this person showed the manuscripts from which his father gathered imitations of these new lands. For there was a passage by a historian as old as the time of Solomon, which said, now this was the critical part, never made the show because back then math wasn't important. Navigate the Mediterranean Sea to the end of Spain and thence towards the setting sun in a direction between north and south until 95 degrees of longitude, and you will find the land of Cipango, which was the word for China back then. Fertile and abundant and equal in greatness to Africa and Europe. So they had information that dated to the time of Solomon. Well, according to the meridians, the math didn't work because 95 degrees put everything too far west. And then when I was studying Columbus, he got all his math from the Arabs because they were, and Chris, who's into the navigational stars, and he's going to be on the show, Columbus studied all that. And all the ancient math was actually based on the pyramids. All of geometry started with the Great Pyramids. And when I looked at the Great Pyramids, it's like, well, that's the answer to the question right there. Because what's odd, and they said this was a coincidence, but it's an awful big coincidence. I'm just going to show you this. There's Oak Island, and it's 44 degrees north by 64 degrees west.
Mhm.
Okay. There's the Great Pyramids. The center pyramid is 29 degrees east by 31 degrees. Well, 64 and 31 is 95 degrees. That's Oak Island. So in Washington's book, they said 95 degrees west, and you'll find the new lands. And that's exactly where Oak Island is exactly 95 degrees from the Great Pyramids. And I thought, that's a huge coincidence, you know? And then, you know, I've done further things along the line. And, you know, Ponce de Leon, he went over with Columbus on the second voyage. His compound in San Juan, which was named, you know, he's named it San Juan de Batista, that's at 66 degrees west. The Overton stone is exactly 66 degrees west. And
Wow.
Ponce de Leon's signature is on that stone. And,
about,
you know, I discovered that when I was
Yep.
over there. So there's all kinds of original good material that never makes the show.
Yep.
You know?
I'm talking about Peter. Hold on for a second.
To you. Hi, John. This is Peter Amundsen calling from Norway. I hear that it is your birthday today, so I thought that could chip in with a little bit of singing. You know, I am a musician, so that doesn't really go well with my voice, but using my fingers hopefully produces a better result. So, what is happening on Long Island? We are all in great expectation of a new season. I am one of those, of course, expecting some news regarding the Mercy Point. I have not heard from anyone, not that I really would think that they would contact me if something should show up, but you never know. But anyway, the Canadians have forbidden travel, so there is no mercy there. News from my part of the world. Pretty quiet COVID rest. We have had lots of lockdowns over here. Oslo was closed for 7 months, more or less. So I had to do something else to keep my mind busy, so I picked up ski jumping again after 35 years. So I hope to set a new personal record before I turn 60 next summer. So I just had my 59th birthday last week. I managed to wreck my knee in June. Slowly it's recovering, but it's a reminder that I'm not as youthful as I was, but I will give it my best. And I'm sure that you will too with your show. I wish you all great success for the upcoming season that you will follow closely. So, again, happy birthday. Great regards from Petter in Norway.
Yeah, I'm getting some echo. Somebody has a audio on or something's going on.
Yeah, there's a little bit of feedback. I'm not quite sure where it was coming from, though. That was a good clip, though.
Imagine he's doing ski jumping now.
Yes, I've been following that along, you know, for guys our age. Because I think Petter's pretty close to my age. I don't know. I don't think I'd be trying it, but
I think I lost Corey and I had him in here. Well, let's bring on Chris, the Starman Donah, season 6, episode 21, Seismic Matters. He presented in the War Room, and give a big hello to Chris, the Starman Donah.
Hey, John. Hey, Jeff, Erin. Great to see you guys.
Hi,
Congratulations, John, on 5 wonderful years. You've grown so much in 5 years. I've only been here for the last couple, but, you know, from all the stories with you and Jeff back in the old days and your first guest, you've come quite a ways. Nice to see you.
I thank you so much. I thank you so much. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Yep, me and Jeff go back, way back. So I'm going to bring in Corey and Jeff. So I'm going to put you in the staging area, and I'll bring you right back. I want to make sure I get everybody in. Let's see. Where'd he go? Corey and Maul from season 7 and season 8. Hello, my
Guys,
friend.
that's season 15 together, right?
Season 15 and episode 13. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Congratulations, man. Happy birthday to you, etc.
I hear you. Peter Armiston sang me a song, in fact. You know what I mean? You guys, he plays the organ. You with your music talent. We got to get something together here.
Yeah, well, as long as you don't ask me to jump. What is it? To jump ski or to ski jump? What's the word?
Yeah. Ski jump at 60 years old? I don't think so. I can barely get in my car and drive down to the grocery store.
I'd rather jump ship.
John, you break it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You don't want to do that.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, I can think of things other than that, but whatever floats your boat, you just go with it. If it makes you happy, that's what you want to do, go for it. Go for it.
I'd rather stick a fork in my eye, but I wish him good luck.
Yeah. I'm going to put this question out for you guys, even though we got to keep it going. This thing that they gave us hyped on, I call it Spooner Silver, obviously. And then I'm going to bring Carmen up as far as, you know, silver deposits around that area, or, I mean, they say it's a silver treasure. What is your guys' take, if you can say, on them now looking for a war room full of silver? Ready, go.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I think it's probably planted there, deposited there. I don't know if silver is really something that is found on the island naturally, but you know, there were those mercury jars, and I think that is used to with silver, producing the silver, breaking it up, processing of silver. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure, of course, but I think my theory is that it was deposited there if there is silver.
Okay, next.
I was pretty happy with the science. As a science person, a big data person, I thought it was a really great idea, especially since silver is more corrosive and oxidizes, but gold doesn't. So we can't really track the gold, but we could potentially track the silver. I thought it was an ingenious idea as far as the water sampling was concerned. It's that being said, it's still hard to discern that data, especially since we've got weird currents going on under there that we really don't have a clear understanding of. So it's still difficult to interpret that type of data, but I think it was a great idea. I think it was a really great thing to be able to test, and the results were unexpected. So I think that definitely leads credence that there's something there. It's hard to say whether or not it's still there in large quantities, or if we're just getting slight oxidized remnants that maybe was left behind. But I do think it definitely adds credence to the story that something at some point was deposited there nearby, and has left traces in those water channels. I think it was a great idea, and it gave some really unexpected results. And I think that's a lot of fun when it comes to trying to apply objective science to something you may not even be a believer in yourself to start.
Yep, and I've asked somebody, and I did get a direct answer. I asked this question. Out of all the soil samples they've been testing for the past, what have they been up there, 13 years? Do you ever check the soil for minerals? The answer up there was absolutely not. And you would think after 13 years, I mean, you got your sample, not only looking for a vertical beam or a cross beam, you know, Chris, test it for anything. If there was mercury in there, some spots in the swamp, didn't they test it for mercury, I think, in the swamp, in the clay or somewhere, Chris?
There were some broken clay jars that they believed that was a dump pile that they believe that had mercury in those jars. So,
Right.
I mean, it's tanning. It could be a lot of different things, but you know, Bacon's documents could be preserved using the mercury too. So, you know, it's still up in the air.
Well, you can't argue with the data, right? So if there's traces of silver, then there was silver.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is, no idea. But silver that counts as treasure. We always discuss gold, but for example, and completely unrelated, of course, but if you would consider, for example, the treasure of the temple in Jerusalem, there was enormous amounts of silver were used. You can read that in the Bible. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be gold. And to
Right.
some extent, I think, you know, silver would be easier to work, easier to keep, easier to anything. So
And easier for us to trace.
easier to
Apparently.
trace, yeah. So and you know, I'm not going to discuss with Mr. Spooner. You know, I think he's very skilled and very knowledgeable, and I think he was as surprised as everyone else
Right.
that they found this.
You got to go with the science. And for all three is, and then I'll bring the other guys on to give them the same question. For you guys, what's been the most interesting part of being involved with this search? What's the most, can you pinpoint it to the most interesting part of being involved in all this ongoing, I know it's ongoing, guys, search? Go ahead. Chris?
It's always great finding new evidence and new research and you know, new possibilities as we research throughout the year. I mean, I'm going at it all the time. So, but you know, there's always new stuff to find and new links to find, new connections. You know, I use the astronomy, new constellations that I find connected to different groups. You know, Nolan's Cross is always great to do with the astronomy. So. Any geography on the island. So all the new stuff that you find always keeps you going. And, you know, it's really fun. It's fun to do. So, you know, that's what keeps me going. And the interesting things is just finding new evidence. That's all.
Go ahead. Erin?
Yeah, I'll go next. I'd say the most interesting for me has been actually getting to know and working with the other theorists to know them better than just the little 10-minute, 5-minute clip that gets featured on the show, because there's so much more that each of us put into our theories, and they get a little butchered, to say the least. And I think it's actually just been so much fun getting to know each other's expertise, getting to know a lot more of that background for each of those theorists' work, and figuring out how it fits together. I know the three of us are sitting here right now. I know we've all sparred a little bit on some of our ideas, and I think that's been part of the fun. And actually, I think that's been some of the most exciting stuff, is rather than being in competition on who's right, it's been figuring out how our parts fit. And because we all have very different skill sets, and we're all looking at the stuff in a very different perspective. And it's been a lot of fun being able to do that beyond the little clips that the show deemed the polished version, which was definitely not a polished version to us individually. So for me, that's been the most fun. Is actually a little bit more of the behind the scenes research has been the most fun for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Florian?
I would agree with Erin. You know, meeting all these fantastic people and collaborate, and then, you know, the more I look at this, you know, the more I get the idea that we're all working on the same thing from a different angle. So whether it's Petter or, you know, Chris from his celestial perspective, or Erin with the science view and the geo positioning view, or Chris with his you know, Masonic alchemical view. You know, we all bring something to the table and work on this big puzzle, which is an enormous amount of fun. And you need a lot of people, because, you know, we dig new rabbit holes every day. And they all need to be explored. So I think for it's you know, for me personally, it's become a source of some great new friends that I share a passion with, and, you know, for the mystery, if you will, it's become, you know, endlessly more interesting, because you get so many points of view, and it's so often you think, oh no, I absolutely nailed it, and then someone comes in with a remark and then you hate him for 5 minutes and then you go, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
let's move on and go for the next one. So it's
Right.
incredibly entertaining, and that's I would never have thought for that to happen.
Yep. And Chris, I'm going to put you in the staging area. We got another person to come in.
Hello, this is Tony Sampson, skipper and diver. I'm just calling in to say congratulations, John, on 5 years of Oak Island podcasting. I'm really looking forward to having you up here and can't wait to share a dark and stormy or a good scotch with you at the Mug and Anchor. Congratulations again, mate. Keep up the good work. All the best, Tony.
Oh my God, I'm getting so much echo on my end. I hope it's coming out on you guys.
Yeah,
It was good here. It was
Is
good
it
here.
echo?
Really, I had feedback.
All right, now, next is the ghost of bacon. The man they call Jake, the Snake Roberts, who presented but did make the director's chalkboard, but we will try to get him up there on the show, is give a welcome to Jake Roberts.
Wow. With an introduction like that, I mean, hi guys.
Hi.
Thanks, John.
Hey, man.
Good. Hey, man, how you doing? John, congratulations, man. 5 years. You're still the original. You know, I always say often imitated, never duplicated, right?
Yep.
You're the original, and I try to learn from the best. So, and you have along with Chris here in the waiting room, and these other two theorists. I'm here with the best, and these guys, they just really kind of hit the nail on the head with what Church is really kind of all about, and I'm just honored to be on your show again.
Yep, you guys are always welcome. And I always said I wanted an outlet for you guys to express, when you can, your theories. And like Erin says, how they short clip you guys on the show, but yet you're limited to what you say. But then more people will follow you, more people will listen to you. And then when you're able to say what you can say, then that was my outlet here to show the world.
Yeah, and we all appreciate it so much, John. We appreciate what you do, and you do it so well. I mean, you kind of joked here early on. I've been sitting in the way. I've actually been watching the show from your waiting room just because it's more fun that way, and and you kind of make fun of yourself and say, oh, you're making it up as you go along. But Erin also said you're obviously doing something right. I mean. Well, look, we all, love being on your show. We love watching you. I follow you all the time. So yeah, you're really killing it. So, and that's kind of the thing, I'm kind of the new guy. I don't have the street cred yet because I haven't even shown up on screen on the show.
You have a book that counts for something.
It counts for something, but as I finally reviewed, the editor's copy I got, I was kind of disappointed. So I'm doing a bunch of rewrites right now. So, it's one of those things where, we do presentations, war room presentations, stuff like that, and Erin and Corian just expressed, like I said, perfectly about how much work goes in. And Jeff early on. He said, you do all of this work ahead of time, and then, you do this presentation that lasts an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and there's a ton of work that goes into it. And when you have a couple of seasoned veterans like these two that I'm on the screen with right now, it's really pretty humbling when or I know how much work I put into this. I know how much work Chris Donah puts into it, because we're in constant contact with each other because we live across town from one another.
Mm-hmm.
And then we share information with these guys, and we know how much work they're putting into it. And like Corian said, we're all coming at it from a different angle, and we're really trying to see how it all meshes together. And that's been, for me, that's kind of the real kick. The fun part is that we can start to see how we're all working on the same thing, but now we're waiting to see how it all fits together. And
we're all rough around the edges.
Yeah, and you need to realize that the research and the treasure hunt and the show is two different things. So these 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever number I've heard. I think the maximum war room was like 13 hours from what I heard. What people do there is immensely appreciated by the Oak Island team. Is understood. You'd be surprised how skilled these guys are, because they hear so many people talk all the time. That never goes to waste. But making a television show out of that, is a different game. It's in a dirty word, it's a business model. So you get cut down to your 2 minutes of fame, and that's it. But again, you got to realize that I think the Laginas are running a very serious treasure hunt. Regardless of the show that's being made about it.
And on that note too, Corian, you have to appreciate what Prometheus does by weaving all that together into a story that everyone wants to watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you look at John's following, and as fans of the show in and of itself, I mean, that's what draws people to the show. It's what draws people to John. So yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. That's cool.
That's one thing we really have to remember, is that the Theorists are only one small fraction of what is a much bigger show about all of the digging that they're doing, the other investigations that they're doing, and the Theorists are only one small component. And then it gives people like John a really good opportunity to have people on to elaborate on all of those basic ideas. But the formula that Prometheus has been working out has brought funding to some archaeology that most archaeologists could only dream of. And so we kind of have to remember that business model, as much as some people can hum and ha about it, it's bringing money to research that usually never gets funded. And that is very exciting.
True. And it's called Oak Island. It's not called, intergalactic, all-encompassing, world history theory, unfortunately.
Right.
But maybe there's an opportunity for us to start a show there, Jake.
Well, we need our own show, guys. That's what it is.
you know what we need.
Not sure anyone would pay for that.
We need
we would be our biggest fans. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah, that's true.
We need like an Oak
Island. We need like an Oak Island convention, with you guys. Once all this COVID goes crazy, we could have it at Jake's backyard.
Yeah, we're doing an oak icon.
Yeah, we'll
have
65,000 members come to Jake's house. And
wait,
all set.
John, we only have 5 rooms in the B&B. I don't know if we can have that.
Corian, I'm going to put you back in the staging area and bring Carmen up so Jake can meet.
Thank you so
Carmen.
much, John. I know my place. Take care, man.
Let me find this other clip here, guys. See if you guys know this guy.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, guys, this is Chris Morford, Oak Island Theorist. I'd like to share a bit of a breakthrough with you, if I may. As you know, Corian Mall and I presented this piece by Nicholas Poussin on the show War Room. We discovered many of its secrets pertaining to Oak Island. Shepherds are pointing to a phrase that says "et in Arcadia ego." There are other letters mixed in with the laces of their shoes. And when you add them to the phrase, it says, "Happy 5th anniversary, John," on your Oak Island podcast. It's a pleasure to be a part of it with you. Thank you so much for all you do. Have a great day.
That's too much.
That was wonderful.
Wouldn't have expected anything less.
Now, you guys are not getting any echo? It's only me?
I'm getting echo.
I wasn't on that one, no.
Okay.
The others.
I don't know. I'm getting echo on them. I don't know why.
Oh, my God. And Jake, here's Carmen Legge. Here's Jake the Snake Roberts.
Hey, Carmen. Nice to see
Hi.
you. Or should I
I
turn?
just been listening.
Yes.
I just been listening to all the comments on there, and I agree with everybody. The appeal of the show is it's a mystery, and every week we give a little bit of details on our research and our theories and so on, and it allows all the viewers, the theorists, the research to take that information and go, well, what if? And what about this? And what about that? You know, it allows them to continue to be part of the show by doing their own, mental calculations at home and trying to figure out, well, maybe this was done then, and so on and so forth. So it's a lot of fun in that it allows everybody to be part of the show and be on the island, we'll say, and they're digging as well.
Right.
Yep.
I think what's sorry, you go first, Jake.
No, go ahead, Erin.
I was just going to say that there's that really big emphasis that no one person is going to solve this. This is a group effort. Even if one person were to crack it, they're using information and data that was from people before them to get there. And so this is a community effort, regardless, whether it's a bunch of theorists, whether it's people on the ground on the island, whether it's previous searchers from generations ago. No one person will ever be able to claim that they've solved it, because there's so much from other people before them or during the same time period that they're using to get there. So it's that camaraderie. It's something Rick's actually been working very hard on. It's actually probably what I think is one of the most valuable things that Rick brings to the show is that he bridges gaps. He's building bridges between people that had never talked together before, that used to be in complete competition. And it's only when we get all those pieces in one place that somebody or a group of people might finally be able to make sense of it. And so that sense of community is very important if we're ever going to solve this. Yeah, so there you go.
We got Jeff Irving back. We lost Jake for some reason.
Uh-oh.
And he should be back. But Jeffrey, what else you got to say?
Well, I've met Rick, several times, and he's always humble. I don't know if you guys have done the tour. I've also done the tour because I do a lot of work in Nova Scotia. So I'll sneak over and go on the tour just because I like going on the tour. And every time I've been there, Rick will take the time at the end of the tour to introduce himself to every person on the tour. And he will ask them what they think goes on. And, he always stresses the fellowship, but the fellowship is worldwide. And, with all the fans and all the people that show up, to visit the island, all of us that have gotten involved hands-on, it's a huge deal. I mentioned to John, earlier I had a big surprise for him. Okay. And so might as well drop it now, because this is exactly what we're talking about. Over the last couple of years, I've been like a dog chasing a bone, getting every article together that's ever been written about Oak Island. And I just want to give you a little sample. I just got them this week, finally, because they've been stuck in the United States. And with the COVID and the border crossing, it's been a nightmare. Every article that's been written, I think I've managed to get. I'm still chasing 2 that I know of. This is one of the earliest ones in 1905. And it's a brilliant article. But there's 60 magazine articles right here from 1905.
Oh, my.
The story is never ending. And it's always had a following. There's always been people. And some of the theories, I haven't even had time to open this and read all this stuff. There's personal interviews that have never seen the light of day other than in these old magazines. You know, this one here, I never even heard of this book. It's called American Mercury. It's like kind of like a Reader's Digest or something. And there's a great little article in here about Green, who started in the 50s with Hedden. And his thoughts were Spanish. He said, oh, it's Spanish gold. They were 100% convinced they were chasing Spanish gold, that the gold was coming up the coast before it went back home. And, you know, Oak Island was a depository. And, you know, it's just neat to read the articles in the time that they were written. Mm-hmm. And so I can't wait. I'm going to digitize all these, and I will have a Facebook page with every one of these articles, word for word, all the pictures. And to me, that was, like I said, I was like a kid at Christmas on Wednesday when the guy dropped it off. And they were at the borders like, what the hell is all this stuff? And he said, this is like a huge Oak Island collection. And so you're talking about the Oak Island Con. Like, we could do that in a heartbeat. And that would just be, you know, that would be insane. You know, let's go to Vegas. Right?
Vegas conference for Oak Island. I'm in.
I don't think we can show up to Oak Island. They might not let us have it on Oak Island, but, you know. But the collective, the worldwide collective is what I find the most amazing, because I get letters from everywhere. You know, have you ever thought of this? Have you ever thought of that? You know, the HO stone, for example.
Wait a minute, Jeff.
I don't know where it was. It's been a long time, so I apologize.
Jeff.
She said, what if it's the OH stone and not the HO stone, as in Order Hospitalier? You know, we're Templars. So, you know, for me, it's the collective, the fellowship.
Jeffrey, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Just what we need, another Facebook group.
No, I said a page, John, not a group.
Whoever said that in the history of my from August 21st, 2016 to now, who said these words, and I'll quote, yeah, just what we need, another Facebook page group. Who said that? Do you know of anybody, Jeffrey?
I don't know, John. Am I as red as my strength ball here?
Jeff, I have to ask.
Hey, you're the biggest and the best.
I have to ask, do you have a Popular Science edition on that table of yours, with the 1939 map that I used to recreate the money pit? Is it there?
Which one? The April, May, or June? Because it was a 3-part special.
I'm not sure which one it's in, to be completely honest. I would have to go double check my sorts, but it's got the map. The map that I used to recreate.
I got the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I actually have 4 of them, but this one's kind of special. It's got a little John Hancock.
Nice.
I had to pay more than a couple toonies for that one. But
Carmen, I'm going to bring Jake back in. He's back on.
Sure.
Welcome back, Jake.
Another handsome bald guy.
There we go. We have the same barber, right? Yeah, lost internet connection here real quick. I don't know why, but it's weird.
I hear you. So, Jeffrey, what's the name of this
going
to be?
Sorry, John?
What's the name of this article page?
I don't know yet, John, because I don't want to say it because somebody will steal it before I can create it. First, I got to read them. I only got them Wednesday.
I've been there, done that.
And there's only 60 of these that I got to digitize, take the photos. So yeah, I got a little bit of work to do, but it's going to be exciting. The articles, just from the 3 or 4 that I've looked at, the old ones especially, were so well written, like the Colliers, the 1930, the 39 popular science ones there that you were talking about. They're really cool. Coronet is another good article. You know, the one I'm trying to get is the Smithsonian, the one that the Reader's Digest. What's his name? Campbell? No. You know, the famous 1965
article. I can't remember.
The Oak Island article. Yeah, David McDonald. You know, that one there.
Yep.
You know, that's the other important one for collectors out there. So.
Oh wow!
But also, I got to learn about. As long as it's out of copyright, you can use the material. But if it's in copyright, you can't. You got to get. They told me, "Oh, John, you got to pay a performance fee. Like if I read an article out of a book from 2000, and they know I read it mostly strictly on YouTube, you know, then they strike you down on a copyright. So be very careful. Even though I thought books were out of copyright long time ago, you know, you got to call the publisher and say, hey, that's like somebody reading Jake's book, like I read Jake's book up on YouTube. Well, you just can't.
Well, the nice thing is most of these publishers are all in the ground, so I don't have to worry about it. So.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying with the older books. But you don't know. I'm just saying, just
yeah. No, I know. Let them chase me. You can't get water out of a dry well. So.
On Facebook, if you're not making money off of it, then there's not. They may have a lot less power.
That's one thing I've learned about Oak Island. There's no money in it.
Not for us.
No, I was going to say, John, anytime you want to read my book, go ahead. No,
wait a minute. I'm making 71 cents a month. What the heck are you talking about?
You're making the most out of all of us, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I did get a $250 appearance fee, so hey, you know. So.
But Jeffrey, I want to bring on.
That left me with $10 left over for a hamburger after I paid for the hotel and the gas to get there. So.
Yeah. Let me bring on Chris the Starman, because then the team will be completed with Chris the Starman and Jake Jeffrey. So I'm going to put you in the staging area for a little bit with Carmen. And see who else would pop in. Where are you, Jeffrey? Okay. Oops, who do we got here?
We already saw him.
Hey, John, it's Graham here. Happy 5th anniversary from Captain Seymour and myself. Take care, man.
Oh my God, I'm getting so much echo. I hope this doesn't come out all echoey, Erin. And there's Chris.
Hey, I'm back.
Hey, the band's back
Hey,
together.
Jake.
Hey, buddy.
Chris the Starman, what do you think so far of our group chat here?
I love it. We should do this every week.
Yeah. But I haven't even recognized the scrolling down of the chat with Curtis Burnett and Linda and Starlene. And on the Facebook side, they're all Jason. It does have an echo. Oh, my lordy, 40. Everybody's saying hello. So
I like the idea of having that over at Jake's house, though.
yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
It
you don't
works
have
out
to.
perfect for me.
But
You might know where this place is, all right?
but it sort of gets me crazy. I don't know if people have on the tech side, like when I take telephone calls, you hear echo, that maybe somebody has their audio on their computer or their laptop, and then it comes back to me for some reason, because that's the only issue that I would have, that somebody has their audio on. You know what I mean, Erin and Jake?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And,
I didn't have echo on Christopher Morford's or Corian's there, but the other ones
I
at the
didn't have-
beginning I did.
That's so strange because I do still have the echo the same as you, John.
well, we'll have to see once I see it on YouTube or Facebook, because you know me, I can't edit. So you see and get what you get, and that's the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
This is a question for Erin, if she can answer. It's from Tom Burns.
Sure.
Are there any other historical sites you have been involved in locating? If so, are you able to tell us about them?
I'm gonna have to go with no comment on that one, I'm afraid.
Already?
Sorry.
We've got one last one here, Tom Burns. Based on your research, well, maybe this is almost like the same question. Do you see any connection to any locations in North America that could be associated with Oak Island or Templar activity?
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
Alrighty. Alrighty. And this guy, William Russell, says, "Hi, Erin. Big fan of your work. If you draw a line on the Google Earth down Nolan's Cross to Temple Mount in Jerusalem, it crosses La Trappe Abbey in Normandy, France, which is mentioned in Zena's map." You see anything about that?
I haven't looked into it myself. I've definitely played with a lot of alignments off of Nolan's Cross boulders. In fact, it's something that a bunch of us theorists have kind of gone back and forth about the purpose of some of those other alignments. I'd have to look at that Normandy connection myself. But yeah, no, it's neat. I'd have to go take a look at it and see if there's any associations. But yeah, there's actually quite a few different alignments I've been kind of trying out off of Nolan's Cross, and some of them have gotten quite interesting. There's a story to tell there for sure, but I don't think the story is completely worked out yet. So I guess that'll, to be continued at this point.
Ongoing, Erin.
Ongoing.
This is for all participants, all guests. Question, I guess, unless I forget who I'm asking most of the time. What was your most challenging task that has been on the show so far? Something to identify or research? Part of a plan to dig or search? Retrieving something found, etc. So what's your most challenging task that's been on the show?
My most challenging, just what's been most challenging for me working with the show. I think for me personally, the most challenging thing has been convincing the team to be as interested in more boulders other than the Nolan's Cross boulders. I think for me has been the most challenging thing. For me, a lot of those boulders are not naturally placed, and I'd love more data to be collected so we can really help kind of prove that out. But in my experience, there doesn't seem to be a lot of interest in checking out the significance of other boulders besides the ones that have been in the story for a really long time, the Nolan's Cross boulders and maybe the Tree of Life boulders I'll also kind of throw in there. But getting interest to treat them with the same respect as potentially archaeological sites has been something that I would like to see, and has been difficult to get others to see it the same way. You saw on the show that when they found the boulder that I consider the West Anchor, I had just given a presentation describing them as survey markers, and they did it right on the show. They ripped it out of the ground. Yeah. So, and there was not an archaeologist there when they did that. And so for me, I'd really like to see these boulders being treated in situ and left in situ, but treated as if they were cultural rather than just another boulder. That has for me probably been the biggest challenge, is getting them to take other boulder positions as seriously as they do the Nolan's Cross boulders.
Yep, go ahead, Chris.
I think the most challenging part, is not being able to have boots on the ground on the island, and trying to do that research from home using Google Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Erin's got a lot better software than Google Earth at home, but, and she's been really helpful to us too with LiDAR and things like that, and her expertise. So that's helped out quite a bit. And then, but not being there and there's 1,000 places that I'd love to have boots on the ground and just go there and spend some time and investigate and learn on the island without, being here, I think that'd be helpful. So it is a challenge not being there on the island to investigate some of these sites that, we have, even off the island, sites off the island that, need to be investigated. So, yeah, so that's the challenging part for me, is really not being there physically to look at things myself, rather than, asking the team all the time, or, relying on their perception of what that area looks like. So in some respects, that's getting a little bit better. But yeah, I think that's probably the most challenging.
Go ahead, Jake. Anything?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm the newbie here. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so coming to it, from Chris's perspective, the idea of just being able to be there and look around would be ideal. Especially considering we all have specific points or X's on the map that we want to go look at. You know what I mean? And so not being able to do that, yeah, that's frustrating. But also, you have such a long history of really great research, and when that happens, suddenly certain things start to become a trope. And this is what Erin was alluding to earlier, I think, with Nolan's cross in particular. It's only a cross because Fred Nolan said it was. Okay. And as far as I'm concerned, that was a really, really great ploy on his part. I'm sorry, he's a treasure hunter. He's a very, very smart man. And if you don't want people looking where you're looking, you're going to make a suggestion that is going to get in people's brains and stay there. And for me, that's been very frustrating because I saw something different there. And so when I'm putting forward a lot of my ideas, they kind of go against something that's a sacred trope of the island and the lore, and so once those things get entrenched and people who are critical thinkers start looking at things laterally in a new way, sometimes you're going to be met with resistance, and as well we should when we do that. But I think that we really have to kind of take off the blinders and start looking at things with fresh eyes. Erin has really, I think, moved the ball down the field on that point in terms of we're able to start cataloging some of these boulders and things like that, and that'll be nice if we can start doing exactly what she just suggested and start looking at them a little more seriously, because I know that they certainly play into some of my ideas of what's going on there.
Yep, like I was mentioning last week, and I really appreciate Chris, how he comes in on my shows and texts me and everything else. Why is this QoOI? Why is it so smooth on one side and the bottom? You know what I mean? And they just say, right, Chris?
I don't know. That's interesting. I think it's dragged on, or moved. That's, I think, is why it's flat on that side. But I think QoOI is very important. I think I've seen a lot of astronomy and solar alignments through QoOI. So I do think it's very important. But I wish I could discuss more of that, but I can't. But yeah, it is an important QoOI.
Yeah, but I'm saying as the show shows us as fans and viewers, well, here comes these Mason experts, and they show us on this show it's completely flat. Okay, and then that's it. They leave us hanging. Like, okay, how did it get flat? More research on QoOI. Everybody's pointing to this QoOI, and then we don't hear anything about it. And even the face stone with the dagger in it. You think they would put, after how many years it's got deteriorated, guys, can't you just put a wooden cover or put a tarp over the stupid thing to save the integrity of what is there? They just say, oh, well, it's all worn out for the past 25 years. You know what I mean, Chris? That drives me crazy.
I wish they would check them for carvings. I'm sure they have, but it's hard to believe that there's not some kind of carving or something on those. But
Right.
There are
Carving's all
methods
over.
to enhance carvings. The same
Yeah.
way that I enhance the ground surface using that LiDAR method, that can be done on rock surfaces too. You just treat the
There's
rock
gotta be
surface
something.
as a ground surface and use the exact same method. So it can be done if they wanted to. You could just do either LiDAR, the stone, or you could do photogrammetry of the stone.
Oh, what happened?
Either one, once when that model has been made, you can take cuts off of the surface of that stone and apply the exact same methodology
Carmen,
that I
you're back.
used.
We lost Jake again.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
What the-
Carmen, I got a question for you. Have you been on the island and seen Cone Sea on Fred Nolan's, on the Nolan's beach?
No, I haven't. No. That's one of the challenges I find with the show. When they bring an artifact for me to see, I only have 5 minutes before filming just to
Right.
Look at it and try to figure out something about it. I kind of wish that I was able to see where the artifacts are coming from on the island. Are certain artifacts coming from the uplands or from the water? I think I could tell more of the story if I could see where the artifacts were coming from. Brush deep underground, where would give me more
That's a good
insight
point.
into the artifact. So that's my challenge on the show. Is I kind of wish they would, like Erin said, maybe leave the artifact there in the ground, and then I could tell more from it from being in situ. Sometimes when they bring it to me and it's all corroded and cruded and stuff, I can't tell a lot about it. I just do the best I can. But anyway, John, I got to go.
Okay.
I
think
great
you-
show. I also want to thank everybody for being researchers, and that includes most viewers, I would almost say. And together we can probably figure out the mystery. And the mystery is what's so great about the show. It's not the treasure.
I hear you, Carmen. I
I
thank you so
agree.
much for joining me
Great meeting
tonight.
you, Carmen.
It was great to meet you, Carmen.
Very good.
Okay,
Good
bye-bye.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, put Jeffrey back on, and then we'll start buttoning it up. Jeffrey, come back on, and we'll start buttoning it up. It's been a great, fantastic show, and I thank all you guys for coming, and I'll get you all on here to say your goodbyes. Me and Erin will be last to say our goodbyes. Many questions. I didn't get really many questions in chat. I didn't get very many questions on the YouTube side. Oh, I got one question. Erin, question for Erin. Who do you believe dropped the cross on Oak Island?
I don't know if I can say anything. I have an idea. I won't say directly who, but I think they may have been a Rosicrucian.
Okay.
But that's about all I can say right now.
All righty. Dot's in the house. Michael's in the house. Welcome, Michael. He has a Facebook group that he has theories, like Erin, going by Zena Halpern's map, and had a vault theory. But ever since he's been on my show, he hasn't posted a thing. So I'm getting so many Facebook PMs. John, what did you do to Dot? What'd you do? I didn't do anything. We presented a good story and a good theory, and everybody paces their own way, the way they project their videos. So he'll have things that come out. You just have to wait. And he's doing fine, and Oliver is doing fine. I had to put that out there. Alrighty. Chris, Jeffrey, you want to button it up a little bit, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I would just like to
I'm
thank
so
all the
glad
members.
we had this time together. Carol Burnett.
I would just like to thank all the members and you, John, for allowing us to come on and share our knowledge with everybody as much as we can. And it's just a great show, and I hope we have many more years in the future with you, John. And I know it's just going to get better and better as we move forward. I just want to say thank you.
Well, I thank you, Chris. I thank you very much for being part of this show and of the members and of the group and all the groups that must appreciate you because you're a world of talent and you're one of the top guys that knows actually what is going on. I thank you, Chris.
Thanks.
I'll bring up
I think
Jake.
that's one of the hardest parts of being involved is the only information we get is from each other. Little tidbits from here and there that we have to, pull teeth to get to stay in the know, right? And then when we do get something, of course, we can't tell anybody, right?
Right.
So, it's an interesting consortium of minds. How's that? And but the whole point is the fans, and the followers and the groups, and as Jake said, John, you were numero uno. You took it and you ran with it and you stuck with it, and you and I have had a lot of laughs over the years. We've had a lot of frustrations over the years watching the show together on Tuesday nights. And, it's been a fun ride for me. And, I've always appreciated, just getting together with you on the show because for me, it's fun, and it's an outlet to spin a few tales here and there too. But, I think Carmen nailed it. I said collectively, if the mystery does get solved, it's again, Erin said it too. It's not because one person nailed it, because that person had to have read all these books on the table to know, where to look.
Right.
So,
Right, Jeffrey.
it'll be fun.
Before you go, though, aren't you missing something? Like a hat?
Yes.
Da-da-da.
Where's yours?
Da-da-da.
Am I supposed
And
to?
Hey, and I'm still out digging. I'm still out digging and finding. I got my silver. So,
yep.
Jeff, you mentioned a collection of minds working on this. I'm also going to
Yes.
try to say it's a collection of eyes, because the more
Yes.
people that are co-aware of each other's theories, I know there have been times even with Jake where I've been doing my own research and all of a sudden I'll find something that I know is related to something that either Jake's looking at or Chris is looking at or Chris and Corey are looking at. And I know I've just, you shoot them off because now you've got so many other people's eyes keeping an eye out for things that there's no way you by yourself would have caught all of. So even if you don't know what to do with it, somebody who does know what to do with it. Yeah. So, and that's, I think, really important.
And everybody has their own way of looking at things too. Chris and I have talked a lot over the years, because I'm navigation, I'm math, right? I love getting into the math. And I know you do too. Okay. And, I see things odd. When I see Christopher Columbus using 53.66 nautical miles, I go, well, that doesn't make any sense. So it had to have made sense to him. And then all of a sudden it's 23 degrees north, which is the Tropic of Cancer, which is the easiest way to sail because just keep the sun on top of your head all day. So simple, but without seeing it, you miss it. Critical point. They said he got lost. No, he didn't. So
He knew what he was doing. And the other thing too, on the receiving end, Erin messaged me just the other day with a list of names. And that was something that I had seen a long time ago, and I had kind of dismissed it. But then she drew my attention to a couple of the names on the list that I had forgotten. And all of a sudden I said, this is something else. I don't know if you remember that.
This may not all be fake. There's something here.
Well, and
else here that I dismissed. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's a huge point in research. Is that the circle of friends? If you want to know something, and I say Columbus because it's just easy. Everybody knows Columbus. If you want to know something about Columbus, you don't study Columbus. You study all the guys that he hung out with, because they're the ones telling the stories, not Columbus. Columbus wants to keep everything a secret. So you're not going to get any information out of him, but you will get information, out of the guy washing his deck.
Yep. And it's like when on the show they see Doug Cromwell on his computer searching like this artifact they found. I feel like reaching out to him and say, you're not the only one reaching out and looking on the internet for this thing. I got 71,000 people that are searching.
Oh yeah.
Also, you know what I mean? It's like people see him on the computer, the picture looks like this here. We get some things on our group before the show gets them. They already tell me it's from this and that and year and everything else. And maybe the show sees it, doesn't present it because it's not TV worthy, but everybody's a searcher. Everybody's a researcher, from the members to the TV people to you guys. It's just a big, big research pot. You know what I mean, guys?
Absolutely.
No, sure do.
100%.
Sure do.
I know we got a big storm coming in on the East Coast. We got a hurricane coming in. So I just hope we can hold together for a little bit more. And like I said, we're going to button it up, Jeffrey. So if you want to button it up, and then we'll say Jake next, and then me and Erin will say our goodbyes. And I appreciate you guys coming on. We lost a Corian, but at least we got him in here. We got him in here.
Yeah. Well, nice to meet the two of you guys. I've been actually waiting to get hold of Erin, just because, we're gonna do Comic-Con together.
What? Okay, here we go.
There we go.
There we go. There we go.
Wow.
So,
Although mine's not really quite an Indiana Jones.
No,
hat.
nice
It's
to
more of a
meet you guys. And again, guys, what I really like is original material, because history is very seldom original. Somebody's just recycling somebody's idea in a different twist. But when you can come out with something, all by yourself, that's kudos. So, congratulations. And
Jeffrey, I thank you so much.
Hopefully next year, it'll be good for everybody, and they'll find that one nail that fell off somebody's ship.
Right.
Yep.
For sure.
I thank you. Thank you so
Take
much.
care,
Jeffrey.
everybody.
Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff, nice meeting you.
Okay, Jake the Snake.
All right. Well, I was just gonna say, thanks for having me on, John. I always have just so much fun being on your podcast, and every time I do it, my face hurts by the end because yes, and then the people watching, I know it's killing you, but
show your book if you got your book closely. Show your book and tell about your Facebook page, because we're gonna get we might get 100 viewers on this. We might get 100 viewers on this podcast, Jake.
The Holy Trinity Decryption, and basically a whole series of ciphertexts appear within the plaque, commonly referred to as Shakespeare's plaque, but it's the plaque on his funerary monument in Stratford-upon-Avon, and found a lot of crazy information that it tells, and so just kind of telling the story that it unfolds, and that's what the book's about. And I followed John's model and created Ghosts of Bacon as a Facebook group, and I do a podcast every other week on Sunday at 7 p.m. Tomorrow I have a guest who is going to be talking about a novel interpretation of Bacon's New Atlantis, so it should be pretty good. Should be fun.
Nice.
So
very nice.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, John. And like I said, you are the original. You're number one. And as Chris said, here's to many more years to come. And I'm looking forward to each of your podcasts every time. So
yep. If you want to stay in the staging area after we log off, I'll be on for a little bit after we log off and say our good nights. Thank you, Jake.
Okay. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye, Jake.
Okay, Erin, it's down to me.
And there were two.
And you. And too bad we had echoes on my videos. I don't know why that happened. That's got me kind of upset, but we got to go with the flow.
Well, fingers crossed it won't show up on the YouTube when you finally put it up. So hopefully not. But I wanted to thank you for having me on today. It's been a lot of fun. When I first did my appearance on the show, I was very reluctant to do podcasts and shows and whatnot. So, but it was you and your viewers and your supporters being so overwhelmingly supportive that kind of changed my mind on that. So I thank you. You have a wonderful community. You have a wonderful following. It's such a great atmosphere to be able to share our ideas in more detail. And yeah, thank you for sharing it with me, and thank you for letting me share your 5-year anniversary with you and your followers.
I thank you so much. Like 1,000 times, I really appreciate you. The things on Oak Island that moved me are 3 things. Number 1, if they didn't show the cross in that one episode, I don't know what direction Oak Island would have taken.
It's true.
Now, number 2, they gave us the Spooner Silver. But you know what was the biggest factor? You.
Thank you.
Your research with Fred Nolan's maps, Zena Halpern's maps from other sources, your knowledge in mapping and putting the X on spots was done by you, that changed a lot of people, changed to the good. Hey, this Erin Helton, she's putting these circles, they're intersecting, here's our anchor points. Steve is finding the anchor points, things are getting together. Sure, there's some miscalculations, it's an ongoing process.
Ongoing refinements, there are always refinements.
But it's the Iron Cross, Spooner Silver, and you changed the direction of research on Oak Island. Not these maps from just treasure hunt maps, and not these things that you can't really tie into. You tied the knots, in my opinion, as I see as a viewer. So I appreciate you doing that, and I know you're going to be going forward. And if anybody's going to find this thing, it's going to be you.
Well, thank you. I won't just, if it is me, who knows? If it is me, great. But it wouldn't have just been me.
Right. I mean, the collective,
would have been so many others.
Group, yeah, the collective group, I understand. But the collective group has to have that one little special thing to make all the rest work. You have that special little thing.
My goal is to be able to unify a lot of the other theories that otherwise seem conflicting, and try to find the unified story that makes them all true, or at least partially true. As we've kind of said, all of our ideas are a little rough around the edges, and to figure out how they fit together, I think, is the really big challenge. But yeah, I hope through GIS, through the kind of software that I use, and just the mapping approach and the big data approach, that's exactly what I hope to be able to accomplish, is to unify a lot of these ideas into maybe hopefully one final solution that many people have contributed to.
Right. And I hope they find an X on all your researchers, like for Corey and his X, that worked out, to find into the next X that Chris worked out. That's where it's heading, where I see is, season 9, if there is one. Because we got to hear officially, that's not on the board yet, but it looks like it will be, but I'm not sure. But all these X's after 9 years, with most secure research now and precise research, we're either going to find something or see an area that was used, but it's either no longer there or partial there. That's the direction we have to go into after 9 years. So I thank you so much for being with me tonight. You're the best co-host I ever had. And have the good evening, and I thank you so much. I'll be in the staging area after I say my goodbyes if you want to hang out a little bit. And I thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you everybody for making this possible. This wouldn't have gone 5 years, and it wouldn't be such a great, large, supportive group if it weren't for you, and if it weren't for you too, John.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, guys. Unbelievable show, guys. All right, we're still live, and here we go. Remember, guys, always go forward. You may get a setback, but just believe in yourself to reach your goals. But never give up. You be kind, You keep smiling. You stay strong. You stay safe. You guys stay positive. Thank you, members, for joining us tonight. I hope you had a great time. Take care. Watch the Facebook group for any future podcast. Good night. Thank you.